Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this video where today we're going to be going through specific offers for cold email and basically how to make sure you package your offer in the right way that's actually going to get positive responses from your cold email campaigns. Okay, so super important thing to get right. So yeah, it's really one of the most important elements for success, basically. Like, if you have a crappy offer, or you just don't or you have a good offer, but you just don't communicate it in the right way, it's going to get attention and interest. You're pretty much going to get like zero or almost zero replies. So, yeah, that's really how important this is. So, really important thing to get right and just make sure like you're packaging your offer in the right way if you actually want to get like a really good positive response rate. Okay, so basically, um, yeah, some of the kind of typical mistakes that I'll often see is kind of I suppose you'd just describe it as like kind of general statements or something, or kind of vague statements. So I mean, these are the kinds of things that I'd typically see in like a poor offer, or maybe it's a good offer, but just not like communicated in a way that's going to like actually get interest. So it'd be like, yeah, like we run email marketing campaigns for clothing e-com brands, or we generate leads using Facebook ads for residential remodeling contractors. It's a pretty boring and just not effective way to communicate an offer. So these actually might be good offers, but they're just not communicated in a way that's actually going to get across, like essentially why it's a good offer, or why the prospect should actually give a shit basically, or care about what you're selling. So um, often cases that is something I see. It's like that the business actually does have a good offer. They're just not communicating it the right way, specifically in their cold emails. Okay, so really, the kind of keys to actually doing the opposite of having a boring and bland kind of offer in your messaging is really focus on these elements here. Okay, so if you really want to package it in the right way, you got to focus on, typically like the best offers will have like the result that you get. Ideally, it's like if there's some kind of tangible attached to it, result or benefit. And you can also use intangible too. But in general, a tangible result or benefit is better than an intangible. It's got to be specific to that ideal client, or that specific group of prospects or buyer personas. Okay, so it should, come across as like it's almost just for them, relevant to them, basically, not for everyone. And ideally, as well, this is not necessarily always required, but this will really take your offer to another level with some kind of risk reversal, or like a guarantee of some sort, whether it's a money back guarantee, satisfaction guarantee, something like that. Okay, so I'll go and explain this as we go on in the next slide. So they're really like the four kind of main elements to packaging an offer in the way that's actually going to get attention and interest in cold emails. So here's a couple examples here that I've basically just like piggybacked off of from these kind of poor ones, okay, and just kind of showed you how you would basically make these a million times more attractive. So as an example, let's like the example of that Facebook ads one. So this is kind of the I guess the offer or like you would do for them to package it in a way that's more attractive. It's like, we send you 15 to 25 exclusive bathroom remodeling job inquiries each month. 100% performance based, so you only pay for the jobs we send you. So that has like those elements that I just ran through in the next one. Again, this is like the boring email marketing one for clothing e-com brands, how you would like package that in a way that's irresistible. as you can see here, we create automated email marketing campaigns for clothing e-com brands with a minimum of 1,000 email subscribers. That adds on average an extra 10 to 25% in revenue monthly within 30 days. So basically, those two reworked offers, they have like those elements, okay? So they have like the result, it's tangible attached, it's specific. So it's really specific and detailed on exactly who the ideal client profile is, and there's a risk reversal or guarantee of some sort. So, you look at like this one here, the tangible is obviously this 15 to 25 exclusive bathroom remodeling job inquiries. It's obvious that that's specific to remodeling contractors that specialize in residential, okay? And then you've got like the risk reversal here, which is like basically performance based. With this second one here, we don't have the risk reversal, but it has the other elements, and that would still get, like if you put this offer in front of this specific type of prospect, they're probably going to be interested still, even without the risk reversal or guarantee, just because it's so specific. Okay, so it's specifically calling out clothing e-com brands. They got 1,000 email subscribers. And it's going to add, this is like the tangible benefit or result attached, and also a timeline as well. Okay, so yeah, you can just see by looking at those two how I've reworked them compared. So this here, that like these aren't even offers. They're basically just like, yeah, I mean, you're just communicating a service. That's why like it would never work or barely work. Whereas this, you're communicating an offer. You're taking essentially the service and turning it into an offer. That's essentially how you're doing it. And the way you do that is, again, looking at these elements. Okay, so really the key to being able to do this effectively, it all just starts with knowing really with specific and deep clarity who your ideal client is. Because pretty much everything is based around that. That's like all the messaging, the offer itself just builds upon that ideal client profile and knowledge you have about what they want and need and things like that. Okay, so that's really the key. The key, like fundamental to be able to do this effectively, is like really knowing that ideal client profile, what they want and need. So then you can essentially give them an offer that is what they want to see and hear. Okay, so that's essentially how that works. So hopefully that's kind of clear. It really comes down to having those elements in place, so then you can turn like what's a service, essentially a service offering, into an offer that they're actually going to give a shit about. And just to kind of carry on from what I got here, it's there's really only two key principles to get right with cold email. It's targeting the right people, putting the right message in front of them. Okay, so once you're targeting the right people, it's just a matter of putting the offer or the message in front of them. That's what they want to see and hear, which is what this kind of comes down to. These elements in place and communicating it in a way that's like it's what they want to see and hear. So yeah, that's really the key. So, and if you do that, like it's honestly going to be, if you actually know your ideal client and you do this correctly, it's honestly almost impossible to not get positive responses from this. And the reason I say that with such certainty is because I just know how powerful the offer is for cold email. Like if you have a crap offer, just people aren't going to respond. But if you have an offer that's packaged like this, that has these elements in place and you communicate it in the right way, that's what they want to see and hear. It's just, I'd be very hard pressed to believe that you wouldn't get responses. Okay, so it's really such a huge part of it. All right, so that's really key. And you might need to kind of play around with this a bit too, like especially if you're a beginner or you're entering a new market where like you still may not have 100% clarity on everything around your ideal client, which is like totally normal when you're just starting out or entering a new market. Like you're not necessarily going to know everything about them. And you can really use kind of your outbound messaging to kind of get that feedback. So then you can iterate and test different angles and outcomes in your emails and things like that. Because a lot of services will have a different outcome. And so you can kind of test different angles and things like that in your actual offer or in your messaging to see what's like resonating. And sometimes things can change over time in markets too, and quite rapidly. So, I mean, if you look here, like Facebook ads management, there's a lot of different outcomes there. You know, saves time, money, more revenue, lifetime value. And some prospects, they might care about one of those things more than the other. So this is what you kind of just need to test things out. Actually put your messaging in front of those people, the right people, to get that feedback, and then you can iterate and test accordingly based on that data. So it's totally normal as well. Just wanted to mention that so you don't get discouraged. Okay, so that's essentially it. Yeah, short video, but hopefully that's kind of gotten the point across. So I think hopefully it has. Yeah, really important to just make sure you're really specific and clear around who your ideal client profile is and kind of the results and outcomes it gets. So that you can package it effectively in your cold emails, because if you package it just like a service and not as an offer, like you're almost going to get no responses. So it's really important. It's a really key fundamental. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want more expert one-on-one help, get in touch with me directly. Yeah, thanks again for watching. Hope you got some value out of this video. Keen to hear any thoughts, feedback you got about this as well. All right, thanks. See you on the next video.